with intramural basketball, I remember me and my one friend, we like created a team at our university.
Heroes.
Well, yeah, but and our team was so bad that every time we play a game against these like elite players who just like didn't make the college team for some reason, they would enforce the mercy rule because we'd be down by like 30 points, and they're like, "All right, it's done." Like mercy, like they're done.
Awesome. Rest in pieces.
We never finished a game in that intramural
What was the
league.
team name?
I'm not gonna say it, but
Like, rest in peace. Whatever the
yeah,
hell you were.
it's like dead white people, but no, like some of these dudes could like literally slam dunk, and I'm 5'5". I'm like, holy shit, that guy can jump really high. Like, and I'm guarding like the shortest dude, 6 foot tall, and I'm like, because there was the A league and the B league, and the B league was like just people trying to have fun, but of course that all got filled out, so we had to join the A league, which is like the top players who just like didn't make the real
Derek
team.
the tallest guy in the team.
We had some other dudes that were tall, but they would always argue with you. Like we had 2 other tall dudes, and like they couldn't agree on who was defending who. So they're like yelling at each other, and this guy just like makes a layup like no one was guarding him. Just goes for an easy layup because it was like Bad News Bears, but for basketball. Like it was so dysfunctional.
Dude, I can relate to that because I remember the one time I played with you guys. Derek and I, the guy that we were gonna cover, one of us was gonna cover, was like 6'7", and Derek and I were looking at each other like, do you want to cover this guy? And the other guy was like 6'1", and back then I was like, I didn't really play much, so I'm like, I'll cover him. And Derek covered this guy that was like 6'7". It was like, oh, it was a disaster.
But I think what we're saying with hobbies, just to kind of bring it back, is they can accelerate your friendships, but they also can like lead to nowhere if you're not good at those hobbies. Like if you were a guitar player but you couldn't strum chords correctly and they're all terrible, do you think like, you know, music people would be attracted to you like as a friend?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, I have several examples of this, and I really don't mean to crap on anybody's musical ability. I mean, really, if you pick up a guitar and you at least try to make an effort to play a chord, and there's plenty of songs out there that you can try and play that are easy enough, and you're like, oh, this actually sounds like a pretty decent song. Recently, especially at this open mic night, and Rylan, I know that you left a little bit earlier, but we had a little bit of a jam session. I went on the drums, and the other guy, he was still playing guitar. He bought his own electric guitar and amplifier, and we had a bass player that was supposed to be there. He unfortunately bailed, so we found someone on the keyboards to do bass. And the guy that hammered on that G chord and E minor chord, he stayed there all the way to the end, and he's like, "Hey, can I jam with you guys?" And I'm like, "Oh." Don't like
he persevered through the whole session.
I admire this guy for asking, but I hate to say it, but I could tell by his demeanor he was never going to pick up anything that me, the other guy, and another guy, we were trying to tell him, like, this is what you need to do, this is the chord progression, and it wasn't happening.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But once again, I got to give the guy credit for trying, though.
Yeah, I think the last thing about like picking a hobby is I think a lot of it is fear-based as well. Like, when you want to join a hobby or meet new people, like fear can definitely hold you back. So I found that when you do hobbies that are more individual based, like rock climbing, weightlifting, maybe even something like jiu-jitsu, where people are wanting to teach you, if you're a white belt, the blue belts, the brown belts, they're wanting to teach you more. Whereas if you jump into something that you're not good at and it's like a team-based thing, that's when I could see you feeling like you're not able to fit in.
Yeah. Something interesting I just thought about. What do you guys think about different hobbies fitting into different age groups? I mean, I know that seems to be, I guess, obvious, but if you have a hobby such as being into model trains, I mean, obviously that's a hobby that can be enjoyed by all ages. But I feel like you're going to, actually, I think the better question would be like the demographic of people that you're going to run into based on the hobbies and interests that they have. For example, model trains. You're going to have a bunch of people ages, 5 all the way to 90. And, for the most part, it's going to be a family friendly environment. But with music, it seems to be, especially comedy, it seems to be a little bit more on the edgy side. Maybe it's a little bit more of an older crowd, but the crowd is also maybe like age 20 to age 50 or something like that. Have you guys noticed that?
So you're asking like what the age demographic is for stand-up comedy?
Not necessarily the age demographic, but the different demographic of people that are into these hobbies. Like, and I hate to say it, but the people who tend to be into model trains
tend to be a lot older.
They tend to be a lot older. They also tend to be a little bit weird.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah.
I will say for comedy, there's a lot of people with mental health things that they're working through, like on the stage. Like a lot of these people have these like certain themes or like topics that you're like, huh. I mean, I probably talk to a therapist first before I go out on stage and just say this stuff, but they don't care because like I guess that's what makes them funny is like they are kind of dysfunctional and they are trying to work through it by like making a joke about it rather than like solve their actual issues. So you definitely see in comedy a lot of mental health, like whether it's like alcoholism or depression or I mean there's an array of things that can make this is kind of mean, but if you're fat, that makes you funny for some reason. Like this one, I went to an open mic, and I think it was his first time on stage. He was so funny. He was big, like he was a big dude, but he just owned it. He like just made fun of the fact that he was fat, and then rather than like talk about like going on a diet and working out, he just makes fun of the fact that he's fat, and it was just really funny. Like there's this like weird effect where in comedy, the more incompetent you are, but you own it, the funnier you are. Like you're just a funnier person for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% true. Yeah. And then for like, I feel like hobbies that are more active, like intramural basketball, football, like those are going to typically be people in their like, early to late 20s.